I think it's time we have a conversation. Just you and me. We all have this dream, this idea of the perfect life. Now, for some of us, me included, the perfect life requires us to move. We want to move somewhere where we can have a nice house, where we can be independent, where we can just make something our own. My question is, for those of you who already have a house, for those of you who already have the job you want, why are we still not where we want to be? And I'm not talking like, wanting to progress and wanting to develop and wanting to become a supervisor or a manager or, get the pay raise that we deserve. I'm talking, why are we not content with what we have? Now, here's my take on this. I think we're not content because we're either waiting on life to be perfect before we make the moves that would make us truly happy, or we've learned to be compliant to the level of, well, it might not be what I want to do, but it's what I'm being told to do. I'll give you an example. I have known since about junior year of high school that I wanted to go into the mental health field. That's always been my dream job. I've always wanted to be a counselor, at least from that point on. Well, now I'm pretty much done with grad school. I've worked in a recovery place. I've worked in community mental health. And right now, I'm working in another recovery place where we deal with opioid addiction. And yet, on a Saturday, I can't help but think, this isn't enough. This doesn't make me happy. I'm depressed. So what is it? Because I certainly don't want to change my field. I certainly love the people I work with. Contrary to what society would have you believe, people who are trying to get over addiction are some of the best people you will ever meet, because they have been at the bottom, which means they know how life can get. They know how challenging it can be. That stuff makes you compassionate once you can rise above it enough. Now, when you're in the middle of it, Sure, you're not going to be compassionate. Your world is falling down. You cannot see beyond your situation, and that's totally fair. But let me tell you, as somebody who came from a broken family, who was told over and over what he could do, what he will be able to do, what he won't ever be able to achieve, the amount of despair, the amount of depression, the amount of self-doubt I had because I was told I would never make it through school. I would never get out of my wheelchair. I would never be independent. That caused so much anger because I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know how to cope. I didn't feel like I had anybody around who understood. And yet, I am right here giving back to the people of my community. Not because it pays great, because honestly, for getting up at 5 in the morning or 3 in the morning most days and not leaving till 2 in the afternoon and the whole day, you just feel like you're not doing enough because even your best sometimes just doesn't feel like enough. The pay is not worth it. The pay is not what gets me up in the morning. What is worth it is the people. So I give back because I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be lost. I know what it's like to need support but not even know what support you need or where to find it or how to begin or to even know what's up and what's down because your life has been spun in so many different directions that the only focus you have is surviving day to day. So, my question initially was, why are we not happy? I think it's because we know what will make us happy, what does make us happy, and we have been content for too long because every fiber of who we are is screaming, this is not what I want. What I want is over there. And I know this, but I'm being told to do my job and stay right here. I'm being told to wait for this imaginary life to just appear instead of going out and creating it today. You know what would make me happy? Is if I had supervisors who I felt really were not blinded by corporate greed, right? Now, my supervisors are not the type of people that are getting $300,000 a year to sit behind a desk. They're not, but I think after years of just settling, we can forget what got us in this in the first place. We can forget that sometimes we have to defy the very system we live in and work in because it's not all it should be. It's not all it can be. And we, at one point or another, knew that. But we have somehow forgotten it. Being told day by day that it's just what it is. When I go to work and I'm told, yeah, we gotta do what we can and that's all we can do. What response is that? Telling a supervisor, I don't think this patient is receiving the care that they deserve. Maybe we should refer them to somebody who can, actually provide that. Being told, that's not really possible. All we can do is do what we can. That right there is bullshit. And when we sit back and just say, I don't like it, but my supervisor said we can't, so we can't, and, I just gotta learn to accept that. When we learn to accept something we do not like, we are never going to be happy, because deep down, we know it doesn't meet our standards. And why are we settling when our bar that we set for ourselves is way up here? I'm sure you've seen thousands of people online reaching their goals. The one thing that they're doing that we are not, myself included, they aren't stopping just because somebody else says they have to. Just because somebody else says that's the way it's always been. Just because somebody else says you can only do what you can do. All I'm asking is do not limit yourself based off of somebody else's opinion, based off of somebody else's ideas. If you don't think something is right, be the person to defy that. If you don't think you're happy, then don't stop chasing that happiness. Because when you finally get to the place where you're happy, I want you to turn around, send me a video, send me a chat, let me know I have made it. I'm happy. Because that's what we need more in the world. That is 100% what we need to see more and more every day until the chain reaction is just an abundance of happiness, right? I'm not saying every day is going to be perfect, but if we can at least get up and say, I like what I do. I like who I am. I'm happy with what I've achieved. It's going to make this world a whole lot easier to deal with. And it's going to make us better people for it. So go out, chase that dream, and let me know when you get there, because I will be waiting.